Welcome to tonight's show. You're Tom, Brian and Steve, and this is NRL from the Sidelines. And as we do it every time this week, we're going to talk about the round of NRL that's just been played. But I actually think I might just talk to you myself tonight because these guys are driving me batty. I think it's just going to be you and me and the thousands of other viewers, and I think I'm just going to ignore these two.
Well, you just point at me. Don't point at me.
I wouldn't have done that.
See,
what's the show?
Honestly,
What's
they're like
the
an
show?
old married couple. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
We're excellent. I'd like to start the show, Steve, by congratulating...
Okay, sure. Let me just sit back and let you take over.
I'd like to start the show by congratulating my club on the anniversary of their first ever win. In May the 31st, 1947, where the Manly Warringah Sea Eagles
we have
beat...
for dinner.
Excuse me.
Oh, sorry.
This is important because
okay.
we beat the slimy Parramatta Eels. Our first ever victory was against them, and may that long continue. How are you going, Tom?
Well, that's 45 seconds we can't get back. I'm doing okay. Thanks.
So you wanted to announce that at a time where Manly are plummeting down the table.
Correct.
That's something to celebrate, is it? Well, it's something for us to celebrate.
Well, you live in the past, so he might as well.
Yeah, but I live in the past because of greatness. He lives in the past because of drudgery.
Drudgery. Oh, please.
Can we actually talk about something that's important?
Well,
we are.
What are we doing here?
No, it's called football. You know, actual live football. Football is happening now or just recently.
Well, it's not happening now. There's no
But it's
game
just
on.
recently.
You just like to complain a lot, don't you?
No.
No wonder. You're right, Steve. We should just do the show without him.
All right, so let's do what he wants to do, and let's talk about the Storm beating Manly 28-8.
What a great
Let's talk about this.
What a
All right,
great
let me just say.
There's a reason to celebrate.
Let me just say.
These are the 10 reasons why the
Excuse
ref
me. No.
dudded us.
Yeah.
Well, the ref did dud us.
Oh, the ref dudded you Parramatta as well.
First try.
Hang on.
No. Listen, excuse me. Listen to me. Listen to me. I am annoyed.
You're annoying.
No, annoyed. Their first try, Meaney ran through and took out the cover defender in Ruben Garrick. No penalty. Storm awarded a try. Their second try, they played the ball. Kaufusi played the ball sideways, which is a penalty in every game.
Except it hasn't been.
It has been. And what happened this time? Oh, of course, they allowed the try.
It's been done.
Then, excuse me.
No.
Then, the Munster pass to, was it Bromwich for his try? Bromwich was in front of him when he passed it. It was like, there you go. Scored a try. That's 3 tries. I don't think there's a club in this comp that can give Melbourne a 3-try lead.
So that's
that's
3 converted tries. They still win by 2 points.
Oh, yeah, because that didn't change the momentum of the game at all, did it, Tom?
The only one I'll give you is the Kaufusi one. It disappoints me that they've actually been letting that go.
No, they haven't.
Yeah,
No. They let it go. No. They let it go if it's like that. But he was that. It was sideways.
I've seen sideways before, and they've let him go.
It was the most ridiculous thing.
No,
and then to top it all off, the commentators go, "Oh, the bunker can't rule on that because they can only rule on it from the play." Oh, come on, get over yourself.
Yeah, but that's right. But you know what?
Fair
You've got the
dinkum.
ref and you've got 2 touch judges.
Yeah, with their
who
eyes
can
painted
rule
on.
it.
Oh, goodness.
All right. So
If these things had been happening to our teams, he would have gone, this happens 50-50 calls.
right,
That happens
No,
every week.
they were not 50-50 calls. Apart from that, the Munster steal, it was the Cameron Munster show. He was exceptional. The difference between the teams. If he didn't play, I don't think Melbourne win.
I don't remember this game.
That's how good he was.
I want to see Top
Yeah,
Gun,
because he didn't go. He didn't watch it. He doesn't care. He's not a fan.
Top
Point
Gun
proving.
Maverick, absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
Sensational.
let's talk about football, Steve. Do we have to have him here?
Well, we do, but you know what? He's not even a supporter of his own club. So,
Yeah, I know. All right.
How many games have you been to this year?
Yeah, there we go.
I've
You've
seen a
watched
lot
it.
of them.
Actually, how many games have you been to this year?
2, both at Brookvale.
After 12 rounds?
We've only had 2.
How many have you been?
Probably 4.
4? You tell us.
I don't invite you anymore.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't invite anyone
Anyway,
anymore.
yeah, and I'm hoping to get this to go this
Barry got
weekend
upset
too.
a while ago because I don't invite him anymore either.
So, Nigel, are we going to talk about the next game?
Oh, sure.
Listen to him. Just continue on, Tom. Like you seem to be the only person who has anything to
You
say.
dominated the last 5 minutes.
Oh, please. Continue on,
4
Steve.
minutes and 45 seconds. But anyway.
There you go.
Blue Rat Stadium where the Panthers beat the Cowboys 22-0. And I've got to say, I didn't think the Cowboys were that bad in this game.
The Panthers are just that good.
They are.
Well,
scary good.
I mean, it was the same the week before. Roosters weren't that bad. The Panthers were just smothering. They just suffocate you, you know.
So what is it? I mean, the Panthers are not playing a sort of football that nobody else can play. Mm-hmm. I mean, everybody could play that sort, but why? So why don't they?
I think they're fitter and they're faster.
Yeah, there's things that they do that are very, very good, and they've got talent across the park though. Most clubs have holes.
Yes.
They have players that are that you know they're going to make a mistake. The Panthers just don't seem to have it.
And they don't have players who come off as lazy either.
Yeah.
If a ball's on the ground, they're all diving on it. If something has gone wrong, they work together to fix it. They really are a team at the moment.
Yep. I mean, if you, like I said, I continually think if you run through a team, and you go, would you take that player at your club over your current positioned player? There's not many in the Panthers that any of us would go, yeah, no, we got it better than that. It's they are an exceptionally good team, and the way they play with Isaiah Yeo going as a link man out the back, but he's so deceptive. He can hit the line, and they're just dangerous
everywhere.
But even to the point, I mean, their fullback
Dylan Edwards,
who is a good fullback. Would you consider him really in the top 5 fullbacks?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, he's getting there now.
No, not the top 3.
The difference is you've got your players like Teddy and Tom and to a point Latrell that are game changers.
And Ponga. Don't
forget. Yeah. All right, and Reece Walsh.
I mean, they're
game changers. All right, like they would walk into nearly any team, but you got a bloke like Dylan Edwards who's just a traditional fullback. He backs up, he follows through, makes the tackles, organises the defence, and does runs for 200, everything right.
200 plus yards every week.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan.
I thought I might take 20 seconds to say something.
No, I'm just going to talk over the top of you.
They're fitter, they're faster, they're more relentless, and they're patient. That's, I think, one of the most important things in that team. They are patient. If it's not working for them, they just keep grinding and grinding till they grind you down.
Yep. What about the Cowboys? I mean, they weren't that bad.
Is their run over?
No, I don't think so, because you know what, Penrith only put 22 points on them. So I don't know that their run's over.
No, I'm not. Yeah.
Last week I said I thought the Roosters could beat a lot of other teams based on their performance last week, despite the fact they've got hammered. And I think it's the same with the Cowboys. There are a lot of teams they're going to beat based on their performance. And they didn't score a try, but I think you put them against a number of other teams, about 13 other teams, and they're probably going to they're going to be competitive.
Well, Panthers put 32 on the Storm. They put 32 on the Roosters.
Yep.
And they put 22 on the Cowboys. So you know what? The Cowboys are up there. They're
doing it with ease. The Panthers are doing it with ease, I should say.
Let's go to the next game, which was a bizarre game. Broncos 35 against Titans 24.
Bizarre game?
It was, considering the Titans were leading 22-0 or something at one stage.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I didn't watch the first half of this game.
There you go.
Honestly, between the two of you...
It's the only half I didn't watch.
Kettles.
Honestly...
excuse me. He doesn't watch the games. He just watches the highlights package. I turn it on.
I don't know why I bother with YouTube.
I turn it on, and the Titans are up, and then the Gold Coast go for this ridiculous short kickoff.
Yep.
And I'm going, why would you do that? And then all of a sudden, that's it. The game was over. What was going on? Why would you do that? Why?
Well, Tino came out of the press conference and said, he put his hand up, which was really good to see. Yeah. He put his hand up and say, it was my fault, I screwed up on that.
But he ran for 300 metres. I mean, he's allowed a mistake.
Oh, of course he is.
Goodness me.
But it was a dumb thing to do. And
sure,
you know what?
It was a dumb
if
thing
it
to do.
came off, we'd all be saying he's a genius.
Yeah, it's a sign of inexperience as a captain. But I felt bad for him because... he's blaming himself for the whole loss, basically.
Yes.
And he nobody could have tried harder. He was the best player on the field.
Yeah.
300 metres. Yep. Brilliant.
So do we want to talk about Payne Haas?
No. What's to talk about? I think he's massively misread how the reaction to his request. I mean, let's face it, these rumours about him wanting out have been around since his management changed last year.
Yeah.
So it's not new. But I think but that's the management saying it. When he's come out and said it, I don't think he has been prepared for the backlash that he's copped.
No, I don't think so. And to be honest with you, I think he's being used as a pawn because his management aren't getting paid.
Yep.
So it's the old contract. So his previous manager would have been paid. They're now trying to force the issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Well, they want him to sign a new contract with an extension.
which is where they will get paid.
Of
Yep.
course.
Look, I don't know. Look, and to be perfectly honest, I don't know whether a front rower that doesn't play 80 minutes a game is worth $1 million a year.
It's definitely. I can't.
Yep.
I mean, I
It's
would
not worth $1 million.
I would say he should be one of the highest paid forwards in the game.
Yes.
But I just can't see a front rower who you've got your blokes who bust it for 80 minutes.
Yeah.
Who change games. They're worth $1 million a year.
Yeah, I felt for him when the supporters were booing him.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
but then he came out and said two different things. One was, I want to be in a team that's going to be top four and can win a premiership.
Yep.
After the Broncos are in, they're sailing.
Yeah.
And then it was about the money. He wants to set his daughter and
We all want to
granddaughter
do that.
up,
He's 22 years old. I mean, he's got another 10 years.
Yeah,
to
but
worry
he's
about.
but he's saying two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree. He is. But
I
then
think he's just young and immature.
Yeah, and I think he's getting bad advice, and I can
Yep.
see another Sonny Bill Williams issue.
Well, we've made comparisons about that already, haven't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's who he's getting advice from, apparently.
Oh,
Allegedly.
yeah, that's right. He'll end up at the Roosters for sure then.
Yeah.
Brown paper bags and all.
Beware of
But
the,
Uncle
beware of
Nick's-
the rumour mill.
Uncle Nick said no, they won't take me.
Uncle Nick's a fibber.
Oh, don't say that on
Wash your mouth out.
They're losing Takiaho.
Excuse me, the
They'll have to get another
I know
front
where you
rower.
live, and the Godfather could make a visit. Okay.
And he will.
Do you? Yeah.
Come on.
It won't be our horses, but you might find something in your bed.
Okay, Knights 24 beat the Warriors 16. The Warriors were up, 12-0 at one stage and just fell apart again.
They've got nothing. I don't know. I don't know about the Warriors. I don't know.
So let me ask it, and I think it's a serious question that we need to consider. You've got players playing for the Warriors now who actually don't want to go back to New Zealand next year.
Yep.
Is it worth having a Warriors team? Is it worth having a New Zealand? I mean, I'm opposed to having a second one. I'm wondering if we should even have one, because they're not successful. They've got players who don't want to live in New Zealand.
There's
it's-
definitely a
it's not
culture
working.
problem there. There's something wrong there with the culture or the philosophy or something, because they should be killing it with the kind of talent they have in New Zealand. Even the cast-offs from rugby union,
Yep.
they should be killing it.
Well, it's quite simply. I think we need. I think we need two teams in New Zealand.
You know,
Because-
more diluted.
Because but the problem is that there's so many Polynesian players. If they had a club with a culture that they could work with, I'm sure they would be there. But the Warriors are just a basket case.
I think.
Yeah, but what makes that culture?
Well, bringing Sean Johnson back was a mistake. I thought it was a great idea at the beginning, but you know what? I hate to say it, they got rid of him for a reason, and then that was that he didn't fit where they wanted to be.
Yeah.
They've brought him back. He had a couple of good games, and now he looks disinterested.
I think, unfortunately, Sean Johnson is symptomatic of the Warriors' culture. He's never lived up to his expectations. He's had moments of absolute genius and brilliance, but they've been interspersed by the majority of his career has been remarkably ordinary, which is very sad. He hasn't reached his potential, but I think that's symptomatic of the culture of the team, and I don't know what it is, but
Well, and I've got to
very
say,
sad.
I don't think we can take a lot from what Newcastle did either.
no,
You know,
they weren't that great.
no.
No, they were just lucky to beat the Warriors.
Yeah.
No.
And I was thinking about it in the car today. Everywhere Andrew Johns has gone to coach the halves, they've done nothing. Honestly.
Well,
Well, that's not entirely true. We won a comp in 2011 with him as our halves coach.
I don't.
Only won a comp, but that's okay. Don't worry. It doesn't count.
Manly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on to the next game. Rabbitohs 44 defeated the Tigers 18.
Tigers were up, 16-0 or something?
No, they're up 12-0.
12-0.
Then South got back to 12 all, and then it went to 18-12 at half time.
And then the ref got Souths in the game.
Oh,
and the refs got Souths in the game, and then Souths did not look back.
How?
That first try that took them to 18 all.
Yeah, which is what?
Yeah, there was that Souths blatantly knocked the ball on in the play before that try.
No, they didn't blatantly knock it on.
It wasn't blatant. It was just a hand that knocked the ball forward that was from Souths. Fair dinkum. Stop painting on your eyes and watch the game.
I've watched the game plenty of times.
The Tigers were dudded and then they fell apart.
Oh, dudded.
Dudded and fell apart.
What's another one? Come on, give me another one.
No, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway.
Alex Johnson became the highest try scorer for South Sydney.
Great.
The last try he scored is the easiest one he's ever going to score. He just had to bend over.
It'll be memorable. So it wasn't that routine sort of try. It was a memorable one. Yeah. Look, Campbell Graham stepped up again. He was sensational.
Yeah. And I'm really disappointed he didn't get picked.
Yeah, absolutely.
He should have been.
He should have been invited, like some of the other players, to the reserves.
Yep.
Yeah, look,
I had him in my team.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, so Rabbitohs showed a bit of form at the end of the game, but they're playing the 15th, ranked team.
Yeah, but they're playing the 15th ranked team that have been playing reasonably well, and Souths were totally different in the second half. Something seemed to switch on.
Yep.
They stopped dropping the well. It was actually a good game for them because they didn't drop the ball that much anyway. But all of a sudden, something switched on. Cody Walker started running again. Cookie started running again, so look, it was good to see.
Well done, Tigers, playing back in
and
form.
probably Madge is gone now. That's what they're saying.
Well, at this time of doing the show, they reckon that was his last game. Ironically, against the Bunnies, who coached for a grand final. But yes,
that's the rumor, is it? I knew that he didn't. I was under the assumption that he was going to last until the mid-season review.
Well, they just had that.
They're doing it now.
They're doing it now.
Yeah. So. All right, let's go on to Sydney Roosters 36 beating the Sharks 12.
Yep.
Sharky
Yawn fest. Let's move on.
So
typical.
You asked about the Cowboys earlier.
Yep.
Are the Sharks starting to falter? Because we all had them as well. They were looking at top 4 side only 3 or 4 weeks ago.
I think they showed in the second half what they can do. I mean, the Roosters dropped off, but that first half that was all about defence.
Sure.
They earned the right to score that many points with defence. But you saw a Roosters side that haven't clicked all season suddenly click in that game. That's all I got to say. I thought it was a great performance by the Roosters. And look, it was worrying when they started to let the points back in. But, they kept control of the game. I was really pleased. And I think that's just a step along their progression.
But let's put it this way. You ask about the Sharks.
Yep. If
you go back to the first 8 or 9 rounds, their meter eaters were Mulatalo, Katoa. Their back 3 and the centres were they were magnificent. Like they were running 200, 300 metres a game, all of them. It was insane. For some reason, and it was after Talakai ran right over Manly. And then they didn't go back out to his side again.
In that second half.
That second half. Yep. From there on in, I don't think... It's like they switched game and go, we have to run through the centres.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't working, whatever they were doing.
Well, it was working when they were playing Manly.
Yeah, but on Saturday night...
Well, they didn't do it until the second half against the Roosters. They brought on all these great, big, huge... They've got some giant forwards. Oh, my goodness.
Massive forwards.
And... They just tried to beat the Roosters up the middle. When really, they're power players, they're wingers and centres. Well,
the Roosters did it up the middle. The Roosters won the forward battle. That was a big part of what happened.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm amazed that for some reason, I don't know whether they're switching game plans or I don't know what it is, but...
And we know Takiaho's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, to make room for Haas.
Real shame.
Haas won't go.
Teddy had another absolute blinder again.
Teddy, yeah.
Jeez, he's playing well.
All right, let's go on to the next one, which was the Dragons 34 defeating the Bulldogs 24. Do we want to say much about this one? I mean, the Dragons weren't too bad, but they were playing the Dogs.
The Dogs scored 24 points, which is about 20 more than they've been scoring.
And they weren't too bad. I mean...
Well, I find it interesting. Like, the game... Rugby league is a game of attack and defence. It's, it's about field position, attack, defence. The Dogs have been this reasonable defensive unit who can't attack.
Yes.
New coach, they can attack, and they've let 34 points in. Most of the games this year, if they'd scored 24 points, they would have won.
But Dean Pay wasn't doing that bad. He just didn't have the cattle to attack.
Dean Pay.
Dean Pay. Dean Pay.
Going back a long way now.
Oh yeah. Well, Dean Pay. He had the defence humming. They were losing. They were losing games, but they were not losing with big scores.
Yeah, that's right.
They just couldn't score any themselves. Now they've got some attacking players, but they've lost that defensive
but you know
mentality.
what? They've got a decent team too.
But they've lost that defensive mentality.
Tell you, how good was Zach Lomax though?
Yeah.
I thought he was exceptional. He was head and shoulders above everyone else on the field.
Yeah. No, I agree. Look, I think he's a great player. I think he has a bit of an attitude problem at times, but I think he's an exceptional player.
Yeah.
All right, last game of the round was Eels 28 over the Raiders 20.
How good was Dylan Brown?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
He's been good.
Far out.
And he hurt his ankle and scored a try with a bung ankle.
Man, when he turns it on, far out.
And I tell you what, I thought the Raiders were in this.
Yep.
Yeah.
All the way.
Well, they were leading. They were leading at the beginning, weren't they?
Well, it chopped and changed.
Yeah.
And
Try, and then all of a sudden,
Yeah, and you know what? The Raiders in the last couple of weeks, 5-6 weeks ago, they were average. The last 3 weeks, they've been exceptional.
Yeah.
Whatever Ricky Stewart has, because I remember we were sitting here and discussing. Ricky Stewart is now going them, they.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, his time here is done.
Yeah.
Next week, bang, they start to turn it around. So I don't know. I'm not an NRL coach, obviously, because whatever he did behind closed doors worked.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay. Who wants to do the later, gentlemen?
I'll do it because there's no way. I'm unbiased because my club is not there.
No, you're
all right.
failing badly.
Panthers well out in front, 22 points. This week we'll catch them up. We've got the Storm on 18, Cowboys 16, Broncos 16, Parramatta 16. That's your top 5, gentlemen. 2 more. Roosters, Sharks. Bring it on. And then we have Souths and the Dragons on 12. And we've got a little bit of a step back now to the Raiders and Manly. And the rest are all gone. Warriors 8, Knights 8, Titans 6, Tigers 6. Poor old doggies 4.
I tell you what, you in a South jersey is starting to look good.
Mate, we're only 1 win behind you, you bugger.
Still ain't looking good. After this weekend, you better win because I tell you what, you'll be 2 points. We've got the bye. Okay, let's go on
for and
to...
against.
I know, our for and against is terrible.
Yeah, I know. Let's go on to Thursday night this week. It's Gold Coast Titans. This is a shortened round because half the teams have byes. So Gold Coast Titans against North Queensland Cowboys. Do we give the Titans any hope?
None.
No, the Cowboys will bounce back.
Well, there's no, Big Tino's gone, and he's been their dominant forward. I think the Cowboys...
Who the Cowboys? Well, the Cowboys are losing Nanai
Ruben Cotter.
and Ruben
They've got
Cotter.
6 players in.
Yeah, some of them were reserves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Dearden, he wouldn't play, but he was there as a reserve.
Yeah, but that being said, the Cowboys' spine is basically untouched.
Yeah.
And Tino's missing. I can't see the Titans getting up.
If Fafita's still injured again, not that that's been a factor anyway.
No, I can't see the Titans getting up either. So, all going Cowboys?
All going Cows.
Yeah.
Panthers, Bulldogs.
Panthers will still win this, but they'll be decimated. They've still got the bulk of their team there, but they're missing key players. They're 6 and 7.
I was looking at this. Yeah, it's Kurt Falls and Sean O'Sullivan. What an interesting halves combination. It's like, I think they're very lucky that Appy is still there.
Yeah.
So but I think Yeo out will be a big loss, and the big unit Martin.
Do we give the Bulldogs any hope?
Nope.
Okay.
They'll still win by 20.
Or more.
Okay. Yeah. Sea Eagles and the Warriors.
Game of the round.
Surely you can win this game, Brian.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know. How many Warriors are in State of Origin?
I don't think any.
No, how many Manly players are in State of Origin?
Just the one.
Who's that?
Cherry.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, the only player who's
Yeah,
been any good for us.
Yeah, the exceptional one.
But you'll have Schuster in the four in the halves.
I'm hopeful that Schuster at 5'8" will do well.
And I will guarantee that Trebojevic, young guy,
Ben,
Jake.
No, the other one,
Jake
will have an exceptional game for being left out of State of Origin.
That was tragic, I think.
We'll talk about that in a minute, I'm sure.
We will.
Sure.
Okay, and the last game of the round is the Raiders and the Roosters.
No, who cares?
Well, I tell you what, this is going to be an interesting game.
I think the Roosters are building, and I think that they'll be good enough.
Who've the Roosters lost to State of Origin?
Lost Teddy,
Tupu,
Teddy Toops, and
Lindsay Collins.
So Manu does an exceptional job in fullback.
Yes.
They'll bring Nguama in, who's very solid. Like he does his job. Yep. As far as I know, Suwali will be back from a head injury.
Yep.
Because he was just on the extended list for the Blues.
Yep.
Collins, look, we've got a few big boppers, young big boppers who can fill a spot. We've still got Jared in the front, and that makes all the difference. Look, I'm not too worried about our losses. They've lost Papali'i, big Josh, and Jack Whiten.
Yep.
They're two big losses, I think. I still thought the Roosters would be really competitive in this game, even if it hadn't been Origin. But I reckon the Roosters will win.
I'm leaning Roosters, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the Raiders.
I'm on the Raiders. I think down there on a Sunday afternoon, I think that they'll be fired up.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right.
it'll be tighter than I want it to
So,
be.
gentlemen, State of Origin team is on the TV behind you.
Yep.
Tedesco, Toa, Stags, and I've put Crichton, Whiten because it seems to be changing all the time.
No, it's not. It's Whiten.
Yeah.
Full stop.
No.
Well, we'll talk about that in a
Something
second.
changed.
Go through it.
Tupou, Luai, Cleary, Haas, Cook, Paulo, Murray, Sims, and Yo.
Yep.
With Crichton, Whiten on the bench. Martin, Campbell, Gillard, Matheson, and Haynes is 18.
Yep.
There's some disappointments there. Some players that I didn't think should be there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the team?
Yeah, I don't know why you'd put Whiten in 4 when Crichton is a dedicated centre who can play fullback.
Which is why I think Crichton will start the game at centre.
Whiten plays more positions than Crichton, and Crichton's exceptional at 4. Whiten can play a number of positions. He should be 14, I think, personally.
I'm only thinking that they're starting Whiten in order to combat Dane Gagai early and get under his skin, because Whiten can do that, and then bring Crichton on once the game's 15, 20 minutes old, and bring Jack Whiten back into ball playing lock or something like that.
I'd be surprised. I'll be very surprised if Whiten actually starts in the centre. But how do you feel about Tupou? I know you're going to say, he's been playing exceptional.
See, this is one thing. This is one thing that I like about Coach Robinson, who all these Roosters players and supporters love, is that he only worries about their game. He worries about the Roosters' game and, be damned the rest of the sides in the comp. I think bringing Daniel Tupou in when Addo-Carr has been one of our best players over the last 3 years, I think it's a mistake. I think this team reeks of worry that the Queensland team is better.
Yeah, I agree.
So I if Tupou was there over the last 2 years, 3 years, I'd be going, okay, that's fair enough. But we had a winning combination, and it's been dropped.
Tupou played in 2020.
2020.
So only 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Look, I think I think it was unfortunate that Addo-Carr missed out because he's been the incumbent. His form hasn't been great in defence. I think that's a concern. Tupou, I think, has a very well-rounded game. He has lots. He makes more metres out of the back than Addo-Carr. He's not as fast as Addo-Carr, but I think he deserves his spot as much as any other winger, honestly. But take away the fact that Addo-Carr was the incumbent, I think you can't go too far wrong with Tupou.
I got a problem with his reasoning because Freddie Fittler said I'm picking him because I want height. Okay? But you've got To'o on the other side who's half the height
Sure.
of every other player on the field.
Put Zawali in there.
Well, pick anybody.
Yeah.
If height is
Yeah.
your issue,
Yeah.
Yep.
if you think you're going to be out-jumped, why not make the change on both?
Sure.
If that's your reasoning,
Yeah.
it makes sense. And you're right, Brian, I think that's why he's done it. He's panicking about what Queensland is bringing down.
Yep.
Yeah, and you shouldn't pick a side necessarily simply to combat the other
No.
side. You should pick the
Which-
best side you've got.
Because the other reason
Well,
is you got Trbojevic who's left out.
Yep.
But you-
Who's been probably our best player, who's got a
Yeah.
a 98% tackle efficiency and makes 50 tackles a game.
Well, we know who
That's
he
right.
should have replaced.
But you know what? If he's worried about ball playing, you've got Murray and you've got Yo.
Yep.
They're the ball playing forwards. Now you need some defence. Now you need some
Yep.
Yeah.
big guys to hold. And
Jake should have had Sims's position.
of course he should.
Look, and you know what? But I will say this: it's not only New South Wales that's done this. This is what's annoying me because everybody's going, "Oh, we should have stuck loyal." The Queenslanders did not stick loyal
no, they
either.
didn't. No.
You know, and so much for that Queensland sticks loyal. You can throw that out the window too.
But
They
you've
want to
got,
win.
You've got a new coach, and he's brought in a new broom, and he's decided how he wants to do it, and he may not have the philosophy that the other Queensland
So
coaches
what's the
have.
point of Matheson?
I think Madison's been killing it.
Oh, he's
off the
been
bench.
playing great,
Been
but surely there are better players in each position that he could fill.
Well, who? Like who?
Well,
Who?
hang on.
Where are you going to play him to start with?
You're
He'll be
not.
off the
I'll tell you
bench.
who.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
it's-
But ahead of who? Because Murray, Sims, and
Well,
Yo
well,
are going
why-
to play.
yeah, okay.
And they're
Well,
going to
he'll
go. They're going
replace-
to go close to 80 minutes.
he'll replace Sims.
Yeah, okay, but you're loading up another forward. You've already got Martin there. You've got Campbell Gillard there. Why wouldn't you bring in someone like Hines as well, who can be that 14th man? I
But
know
don't
you've
you
got.
traditionally have three big men and a utility on the bench?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should.
Wow.
Well,
You
and that's
can.
what they picked.
You don't need to.
Look.
Hines is not a big man.
No, but there can.
My-
I just
look,
think-
look,
to me, it's a confused team.
it is, and I posted this on our. I might have just mentioned it to you. The problem is last year, Brad Fittler said at the beginning of his coaching tenure, he said, "You know what? We're going to pick the best fullback, the best wingers, the best centres." And basically, for the first 3 or 4 weeks of the comp, Freddie was there saying, Teddy's the best fullback, he'll be fullback. Adokar's the best winger, he's going to be the winger. This team is confused.
Yeah, I think it is too.
It is picked purely in order to stop whatever he thinks Queensland is going to do.
See,
I don't like it.
I think Matheson should be out. I think Trbojevic should be in. Quite simple.
Well, I think Trbojevic should be in for Sims. I still think Madison's a good
I'm
a
not
good
saying
get.
he's a bad player, but
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just anyway.
Like I said, well,
All right, let's move on.
Anyway,
we need
yeah,
to
all
move
right.
on. Okay, let's just go to our footy tips behind you down on the
no.
board. St Mick is leading. Gordon the Scott's doing really well.
I don't know who those people were.
Chook's real. Well, I don't have the names. Only our
I do.
administrator has the names.
You'll have to
Who's
divulge.
Chook's rule?
Me. You didn't know that?
Of course I did.
Mick Roosters, that's Brennan. He got a full round last week.
Yeah, and I think so did Brighton. That moved him up as well.
Right.
yeah, but Brandon might not. I might change it if I'm the administrator.
And maybe you should. Maybe you shouldn't move us up because you and I are so far down the bottom.
Okay, let's do
So
it,
if
Steve.
Brennan is actually watching the show, you'll get some nasty Facebook.
Brennan's not nasty.
Brendan doesn't watch the show.
Brennan's not nasty like you, Tom.
All right, and we go on to
Oh.
our super coach. Oh, this is fabulous. Look at this. Robbie's Randoms 18, Glizzy of Doom, all the way down. I'm in the top 5. Brian, where are you?
Where am
Top
I?
7.
Oh no, I'm just there. I'm
Two
just
down.
there.
And you and I are playing this weekend, and it's a painful round because we can't even pick 4
Buy
teams.
round. Buy round.
I would have smashed you. I smashed it last week.
I smashed it last week too.
Yeah, but you didn't smash it like I smashed it.
I did so.
You did not.
I did
Children,
How
so.
many points did you
please,
get?
children.
How many did you get?
1,349 or something.
Well, I got 1,449.
Children.
Ah, dear. Come on, everyone else should be in this as well. This is.
It is actually a bit.
Next year you got to do it.
It is a bit of fun, isn't it, Steve?
Except this round.
Except
Well,
for this round.
Half
for
the
me to
teams
do,
aren't
you have to
playing.
sit down and explain it to me.
Half the teams
Maybe
aren't
next year.
playing, and the other half are playing State of Origin. I've got about 3 players who are kicking a ball around.
Good. I might have a win.
Oh dear. All right, gentlemen, that's going to end us because we have gone awfully long. Very sorry about that, but I hope you've enjoyed the show. Anything you want to end the show with?
Go Manly! Beat those Eels! Wow! I'm living in the past. Like Steve.
And they're not even playing the Eels this
Playing-
week.
That's right.
You're playing Melbourne, aren't you?
I know.
No, they're playing the Warriors.
Oh, Warriors. Yeah, okay.
You don't even...
Well, you got a chance. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I don't know. What do you do with him?
yeah.
Well, we have to have him in.
Yeah, we do.
He sponsors us.
Okay.
Do I?
Anything you want to end the show with?
Get those long johns on, Roosters. down to the capital. It's going to
Down
be
to the
absolutely
capital.
freezing.
Down in the capital.
And with any luck, the Bunnies will get their 2 points this week.
Yeah, I think actually we should have a moratorium, and you should not get your 2 points based on the fact that the rest of the clubs don't like you. So I think
Everyone
we should
loves
veto.
everyone
No, we
loves
don't.
the
Veto
Bunnies.
the 2 points.
Everybody loves
Yeah.
the Bunnies.
No, they don't.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for watching. This is NRL from the Sidelines with Tom, Brian and Steve, or Steve, Tom and Brian, whichever order you want to put in. And we thank you for watching. We'll see you all again next week.
See ya.
Ciao.